What can a couple of loaves of bread and a jar of honey teach you about one of the most powerful principles of sales success? My neighbor bakes bread. He is a culinary arts teacher at a local high school. And a couple of weeks ago, he shot me a text. Hey, Eric, would you like some fresh baked bread? He's in the house with his son baking some bread. I shot back the text, of course. I love fresh baked bread. A couple of hours later, came over to the house, dropped off the bread. Me and my kids devoured it in about 20 minutes. Last week, he shot me another text, and it was the same type of text. Eric, would you like some bread? And of course, I said yes. He said, a couple of hours, I'll be over with some fresh baked bread. That act of offering me bread set off in my mind one of the key laws of being successful in business development. And I'm going to talk about that law now. And we're also going to talk about at the end how that impacted my relationship with him. And that key law is the law of reciprocation. So I'd like to define what we mean by the law of reciprocation, and then we're going to talk about how you can use that law in your business development efforts. And then thirdly, we're going to talk about the secret of using that law of reciprocation successfully. And that has everything to do with your attitude. What is the law of reciprocation? It's very simple. Give, and it shall be given to you. When someone gives to us, it begins to put us in obligation to give to them in return. And the same thing is true when you give to other people. When you give to them, it sets in their minds this deep human response of, oh, they gave something to me, I have to give something to them in return. So how can you use this in your business development efforts in your construction company? Well, think about the top clients that you have that you're either working with or the potential clients that you would like to work with. What are some ways that you can benefit them professionally without them having to give you any money up front? For instance, perhaps they say, hey, I'm looking at a project. Can you give me some budget numbers around this particular project so I can have an idea of how much it might cost? That's an example of a professional way that you could benefit them. Or think about a personal way. I have a client who really loves baseball, and I bought him a book that was all about the mental game of baseball. And it was just a wonderful way just to give him something little, something small, but something very personal and beneficial to him. Think about how we go out at holiday times and give wine and food baskets and things like that. So if you want to be able to kick in this law of reciprocation with the people that you're working with, think about how you can do it from both a professional and a personal basis. And when it comes to personal the personal basis, think about what will put a smile on their face. When it comes to the professional basis, think about what will solve a problem or make life easier for them. And that brings me to the last thing, and that's the secret of using this law of reciprocation. It's not a manipulation tool. It's just understanding how human beings interact with each other and tapping into that understanding. And that means you have to have the right attitude when using this law of reciprocation. And the first thing I'd like to say is be a cheerful giver. And don't expect something back from that person as a result of giving to them. Don't be some cheesy dude who says, I'm going to give this to you and you better give something back to me. No. Just understand how human beings work. If you give, it will be given to you in return. But don't expect it. Be a cheerful giver. And that's exactly what happened with my neighbor. You see, my neighbor, he gave me 2 loaves of bread and over a 2-week period. And my kids and I, we loved them. We devoured them. But the second time he asked me if I wanted some bread, it immediately kicked in that reciprocation idea. I was thinking, man, I need to give him something in return. And not because I felt bad about getting the bread. It was just something I wanted to do. And so I looked around the house, asked my wife, and we came up with some eucalyptus honey that we had just gotten from Hawaii. And so he brought the bread over. I gave him the eucalyptus honey. And I tell you, everybody was happy because he told me afterwards that that honey was something his wife was looking for some of the cooking that she was doing. And so it really helped to enhance our relationship. He gave me the bread. I gave him the honey. Our relationship has been strengthened as a result. And that's what you should be thinking about when you're developing business with your clients or potential clients. So here are next steps that you can take. Make a list of your top 10 clients or potential clients and think about what you can give them either professionally to make their lives easier or personally to put a smile on their face, and then go and do it cheerfully, expecting nothing in return, but knowing that if you do give cheerfully, it will kick in that law of reciprocation and eventually you will receive in return. So that's how you can use the law of reciprocation to help you with your business development efforts. My name is Eric Anderton. Hope you found this video helpful.